when we think about oneness, we imagine, right? People project a lot of things, like if I'm in oneness, I'm like this or like that. It's basically a perception. Oneness is perception. Because when one awakes to the equanimous being, which for our reality we can call it the ultimate being, it is a being which does not have different or the perception of duality at the moment. So when you are absorbed into self, there is no any kind of perception of any phenomena from dual perspective. There is no judgment. There is simple perception. It's not even an active observation. It's a blissful perception of self, absolute content, absolutely equanimous being, space-like. But through evolution, which means this being is not an ultimate goal. Like many people say, Samadhi is an ultimate goal. So Samadhi is a being, an equanimous being. It doesn't mean it's a goal. It's our natural being. So how our natural being can be a goal. We come back to that natural being, and through that natural being, we are able to see transitory aspects of self, dual perception, which we usually, through which we usually see the world when we come out of our natural being, and when our mind is scattered in the phenomenal reality. So when there is interpretation, when there is a story, when there is an emotion, a thought, there is no perception of self in an equanimous kind of collected way as a being, as one being. There is scatteredness where self is scattered into emotions, thoughts, judgment, connecting thoughts with emotions and creating a story. So we actually create phenomenal reality out of our distorted perception. Now, when we are aware that we have distorted perception, that we have stories, that we have emotions, and we realize or experience first and then realize through our natural equanimous being the transitory aspect of those other dual perceptions, we evolve further. And so the evolution or the evolutionary goal for us first is to get rid of victimization, then to be more and more established in one's equanimous being and connect that natural being with the phenomenal reality so that we can live within the phenomenal reality, yet not to get drained by the phenomenal reality through ourselves, through our dual or transitory perceptions. And we evolve through also cultivating this being and spiritual intelligence at the same time. Spiritual intelligence means wisdom and compassionate detachment. Detachment because when you understand that the phenomenal reality is self-created and each of us has our own perception, our own understanding of reality, we no longer want to participate. We understand that this reality cannot and should not be changed because it is a result of the collective sort of conscious status. And so wise men don't interfere. They are non-violent. Non-violence means I do not want to change anything because I understand that everything is right. Everything is a reflection of the collective. So I abstain from interfering, from trying to impose, teach, heal. If it happens, if true teaching happens, true healing happens, it happens through the presence, through the enlightened presence. Enlightened presence means the being is established in one's natural equanimity or equanimous being, yet that being lives through the body. in that equanimous, or through that equanimous being, and perceives everything through that equanimous being, and evolves further, because evolution never stops. So through this, with time, one realizes one's light essence further, and one transcends the distorted body, which is the result of a dual perception, into a more subtle body, which is the result, or integrates, and so the physical body reaches kind of a immortal state, or the ageless state, like we see different masters of the past have that phenomena, went through that phenomena, or in Buddhist tradition they attain rainbow body or light body in Taoist, and so on. So the goal is to actually integrate that enlightened perception and being. It's not just a perception, it's everything together, and bring it into the physical and enlighten the physical body, and transcend afterwards into sadhana, I would say dimensions of conscious light matter, because the way we understand conscious from our physical perspective is one type of reality. But our awareness, the more we become aware, the more we see self at the same time on subtler levels too. So the physical aspect is only one aspect of the continuous awareness which comes from the source of self and itself, in a way. So that awareness goes through different aspects of conscious light matter, according to my understanding. And physical is just one dimension of that. And the more we become aware of self on subtle levels, the more we acquire awareness of self existing at the same time, parallelly, kinda, in subtler bodies. And if we integrate that all that awareness of those subtler aspects of self and perspectives into one, through the physical, we may have different siddhis, different supernatural abilities, but they're not supernatural. They are the abilities of those subtler aspects of selves, which we are not aware of now. And so our intelligence, naturally, because awareness is kind of creating intelligence, individual or collective. So we become more aware of things, so our intelligence grows as well, or evolves. So is there any goal in evolution? The evolution itself is just a process of seeing things on various dimensions. And when there is a space of self, unmanifested awareness, the wave comes out of there until it goes grosser and grosser. But then when we experience that moment of creation, we can also experience the moment of decreation, going back from the physical to sadhana, back to unmanifested awareness. So is there a goal in this, or is just ability to be in both, in a created way, in decreated way, experiencing all possibilities of self within one space of self, of awareness? So there is no difference between, in a way, awareness is. When awareness vibrates, it becomes consciousness. And then or conscious light matter. And then this conscious light matter has different subtleties. And they may exist at the same time. Okay? So this is the process of evolution, devolution. It has cycles. Maybe our dimension has one cycle or some cycles. The other dimension has other cycles. So this doesn't have any meaning, no, it has a meaning, no, it doesn't have a meaning. It just is, to my perspective, to my understanding.